Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. And welcome to Tany Talks Live. Hey guys, thank you for joining me again this Sunday. So this Sunday, the topic was be love at first sight. So I thought it was so cute when I put in the poll this week earlier and you guys said you wanted to talk about love at first sight. I feel like that is such a cutie topic to talk about. And I know that a lot of people, I would think, don't believe kind of in love at first sight, right? I think it's very much, some people look at it like a myth or like something that's super duper unrealistic. But we are going to talk about love at first sight this Sunday on Tany Talks. So do you guys believe at love at first sight? What do you feel like love at first sight even is? Right? Like, what do you consider love at first sight? Like, just seeing someone and instantly just like loving them? Would you consider that like love at first sight? Or, I mean, I guess that's what it is, right? Love at first sight is like when you see someone and then instantly you're like, this is the one, you know? And I feel like we grow up and, you know, in American culture, we see a lot of like movies and stuff like that, or that, you know, you see kind of love at first sight. So I just kind of wanted to get on here and I wanted to hear from you guys, like, do you guys believe in love at first sight? Like, do you believe like that you can see someone and just instantly know, like, the moment that you laid eyes on that person, that you're just gonna love them forever and ever and ever and ever? Do you believe that? I mean, I think the idea behind love at first sight is really cute. Like, I love the idea behind it. In my Disney princess head of mine, I'd like to think that my person I would kind of meet and kind of just love at first sight it out. And I know this might sound super silly, but like the way that I hope to meet like the love of my life is like me doing like ordinary day things, right? Like I'm just out and about at the, you know, supermarket and I like can't reach something at the top shelf of an aisle or something, and like some handsome guy who's also in the aisle looking at something just goes and like grabs it from the top, you know, shelf and hands it over to me, and the second that I look at him I just like, that's the one, the guy who got the thing off the shelf that I couldn't reach at the grocery store. So like in my head I feel like I would want to meet the person of my dreams, like love at first sight. Like in my Disney princess head, I just feel like, you know, that's going to be like the person I'm going to end up being with. And I'm like blushing even thinking about it, because if that could really truly happen, like that'd just be amazing. But am I being like unrealistic? Like, because people tell me that I kind of am. Like, I really do believe that like I would know the moment that I look at the person that they're like the person for the rest of your lives. Like, do you guys really believe like at love at first sight? Have you guys ever experienced love at first sight? Like, I don't know, like is that a fairy tale? Is that a fairy tale? Should I not be believing at it? Is like love at first sight just something that just doesn't happen to people? Like, I don't know. I need you guys to tell me, cuz I don't want to be the only person believing in love at first sight. Like, yeah, like look at the comments. Someone's like, I think I did. You think you did? Like you just saw that person and was like, oh, like that's just so I want that. I want that so bad. I want to be able to like, but I want it to work out. You know what I mean? I don't just want to be like dating. I want to be like, that's my husband, that man right there. I would say, someone told me that I was like, kind of like love at first sight, that the person saw me and was just like, yeah, like you're the one or whatever, blah blah blah, and we got together. It was actually the father of my kid, which is weird. He was saying that he saw me and that he knew like I was gonna be his baby mama, but that didn't work out, obviously. Probably my fault, because like I said, I left, but whatever. But I want to experience like love at first sight, where I just like see someone and I just know instantly like that is my person. That's the person I'm gonna be with forever. And I get so giddy about it. Like, you guys are gonna probably look at me and think that I'm so silly, because I just the thought of it is like, oh my God, I can't wait till I meet the person. Or like, I just see that person and I just know, like, how do you know? Come to find out, it was just at first sight. It be like that, right? Let me tell you, girl, like, you be like, oh, it's my love at first sight, you know what I mean? And you think it's the greatest thing ever, and then it doesn't work out. It'd be love at first sight, but just at first sight. It don't be like love for the rest of your life kind of thing, I guess. So have you guys ever experienced like love at first sight, or like love at first sight but it didn't work out? Because I mean, I feel like that's kind of everyone. I feel like initially, like when we meet people, right, let's just say the first thing that we see is we see them, right? Like, oh my God, unless you're like blind or something, or like met the person online or something, but like ideally when you look at the person, you should be I think attraction is like one of the first things. And I guess, like I said, unless you meet them like online or something like that, because that's very common these days, usually you see them and like you're instantly attracted to how they look or what they were doing when you first saw them. Like, like, I don't know, let me read it. I'm in a relationship with my first love. Oh, that's so cute. But did you know, like, at first sight that was gonna be your first love? So I think it got a little shaky here. But someone in the comments said, I'm in a relationship with my first love, which is so adorable. And I hope like you guys stay together forever and ever and ever, and it's your first and it becomes your last love. I think that's pretty amazing. But I feel like love at first sight could really be a real thing. Like, I really do deeply believe that, you might not know like what the future holds right away, but you just look at that person like, oh, that person, that's the person. You know what I mean? That's them, this person that I see. And it could also be like, maybe it could be like you sell them in like a workplace, right? So you're constantly seeing them and seeing them and seeing them, but you're so shy to approach them. So you're like seeing them from afar and you're just like waiting for your chance. And like the more you see them, the more you like start to like them, which I think would be like really, really cute too. But I think love at first sight is a real thing. And then as you get to grow and get to know the person, there might be things you might not like about them, you know what I mean? Or things that you can't settle for. But I think love at first sight is just like the cutest thing ever. And I can't help it enough but to say, like, I really just hope that happens to me one day, where I just see someone, or someone sees me again, because someone told me that they thought that I was love at first sight, but I hope someone else sees it. Like, can love at first sight happen more than once? Like, have you guys ever thought about that? Like, do you think, like, can you like, you see multiple people and you think that they're your love at first sight, or is that just like absolutely ridiculous? Like, just loving people that you just see right away. I mean, because there's a lot more deeper to a person than just what you see at sight, right? Like, you don't know the person, right? So you will need to kind of get to know them and hang out with them more often. Like, do you think love at first sight is just enough? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie, but it's a kids movie and it's called Hotel Transylvania, right? I mean, there's so many movies. Actually, when I sit here and I think about it, there's like so many movies. Almost all the movies I feel like that we've seen were something of the describing like love at first sight, right? But in Hotel Transylvania, they call it a zing, right? Where you see the person and they see you and you just gotta zing, right? Or in the movie Twilight, right? I think it was called imprinting, right? When they like imprint on another person and you just know because you just have that instant kind of connection. Like, I think if you were to experience like love at first sight, I think it'll kind of be kind of like that connection that you kind of feel like almost like right away, where love that movie, LOL. Yeah, it was a good movie, right? But where you just have that, like, you see them, right? And it's just like, okay, you see them, right? And it's like, oh, they're very good looking. Or especially when you have like eye to eye contact with someone. Have you ever like flirted with someone and then you had like eye to eye contact with them and like you just see them, but like there's like a deep click, like something happens when you have like the same kind of vibe and you have eye to eye contact with like someone else. I feel like especially when you don't have like a relationship with them. Like, you ever like seen someone from afar and you like flirted with them and it was just like an unspoken like language, unspoken like connection where you can just like, and you feeling them from mad far away. It's like, yeah, I see you, I feel you, I get what you're saying. And I feel like people that you know, like your friends or family and stuff like that, like you can have that eye kind of connection with them too, where you guys can speak without even, you guys can have some sort of communication without actually having verbal communication, you know, where you kind of just look at them. It says, I'm reading off some comments here. It says, connections can be broken, but you always got to work on making sure both parties are on the same page. Yeah, 100%. So, thank you guys for joining, by the way. Joining me for this Sunday Tanya Talks. We are talking about love at first sight. And, you know, just like the whole dynamic of that. I want to say that, I'm reading off some comments. Hi, thank you for joining. So I want to say that, you know, love at first sight is like really, really fun. And a lot of people also have another aspect where they feel like love at first sight is bullshit. Like, there's no such thing as love at first sight. And a lot of people just be like, oh, it's just, it's a mask, right? Because a lot of people feel like, oh, when you first see someone, they're not really who they are. So I guess it depends on like where you're kind of seeing that person. I feel like you can't trust the love at first sight in every situation and where you are, right? I just feel like, I think if you see somebody in a normal kind of like everyday kind of walking down the street, like I was saying, like at the supermarket or something like that, and you randomly like just bump into somebody and you just feel like it's love at first sight. Like, oh, let me think of another movie that I 101 Dalmatians. You remember like when the dogs were like crossing each other's path and they like bumped into each other and it was just like, oh, your dog is tied up to my dog. Let's, you know, and then you see them and they're like, you know, I feel like that is also, I feel like the movies kind of made us all feel like that. I feel like we've all seen love at first sight in like films, but have you guys ever experienced love at first sight like in person? I need to know, like, have you ever felt like you saw someone and you just knew instantly, like looking at them, like you wanted them to be yours? I actually have not. Like, I've never really seen anyone. And hi, thank you guys for joining. So today on Tiny Talks, we're talking about love at first sight. Do you guys believe in love at first sight? Do you think that is something that could truly happen, like in real life? Have you ever experienced love at first sight? But I do want to say, I believe that it exists. I think that initially when you see someone, you look at them and you just know that they're the person. And if you see that, I would highly advise you guys to pursue that. You know what I mean? If you see somebody and you just have that zing, if you have that imprint on them, pursue them. Why not? Like, life is too short to you know, not have that instant feeling when you see someone, to not pursue them. And I know that rejection is a very real feeling, and I feel like we're all kind of scared of being rejected. So we tend to probably not try to talk to someone when you see them, right? Because like I feel like the chances of going up to someone and trying to like talk to them and them rejecting you is probably pretty high. Like, you know, imagine like seeing that person, like you see them at the gym, you're at the gym, you're working out, and that person's working out and they're looking like really good, and you go up to them and you like, you know, try to talk to them, and then you think that just by looking at them that that's the person of your life, and you're thinking, oh, that's love at first sight, oh my god, I have to talk to this person. And you finally gain enough courage to actually go up and talk to them, and they completely reject you. Oh my God. I can't even imagine that kind of feeling. Like, I would be so incredibly hurt. I would just be like, oh, this is not it. Like, what is this? But what if you do go up to them, right? And what if that person feels the same way? And then, you guys make a beautiful relationship out of it, right? You just never know. So if you see somebody and you think that they're kind of cool, my best advice is to go ahead, go jump in. But don't take my advice, because I don't take my own advice. There be people that I be seeing and I think that they look good, but I don't know nothing about them. So I wouldn't even dare go up to them and say anything. Like, so just be sure that if you're going to go up to somebody and do that, like, you have to have the eye-to-eye contact. You know what I mean? It has to be the mutual thing. Hopefully, if you're looking at someone and you think that they are your love at first sight, I hope, they look at you too, and you guys could do the little zing, because I would say don't go up to somebody like that's just random. Like, try to get like their attention. You know what I mean? If you see someone that kind of looks good, try to like from afar. Don't do anything crazy either. Like, I don't know. Like, I've like as a teenager, like people doing silly things to like get other people's attention, like out in public, I guess, so don't do anything crazy, to try to get someone's attention so that they could feel love at first sight too. Like, no, don't force them into it, or like, or anything silly like that to get their attention so that they notice you. But try it. You never know. That person just might be the person that you will end up for the rest of your life. Like, hi, thanks for joining. So we're talking about love at first sight. Have you guys ever experienced love at first sight? I mean, I don't think I know anyone that has, to be quite honest. I've heard of love at first fuck though. You know what I mean? Hey, so that'd be a thing. Have you guys ever heard of that? Like, love at first bang. You know what I mean? Because you might not know you really love that person until you like sleep with them, right? Which is a really crazy way of thinking about it, but it's true. Some people feel like they don't love you unless they had a taste first. You know what I mean? So you never know. But I pray and I hoped one day that I will definitely find love at first sight. I'm hoping that one day, someone just is walking down the street and maybe I tumble over and, I fall on them and they help me get up and I just be like, oh, and then we just exchange numbers. Like, I don't even know how that would even go in my Disney princess movie life in my head. Like, how would that even go? Like, how can we, if we could produce Tany's Disney movie, right? Like, how would that even go? Like, how would I do love at first sight? Like, how would that work? I don't know. Like, let's make this movie. I will fall on them or something. I don't know. Like, I don't even know how that I would describe it. Never, I'm gonna read off a comment here. Never love at first sight. It's just love. It's lust at first sight, which is often confused. That is true. Because like I say, when you first see someone, the first thing you are typically attracted to them is you're sexually, I guess, maybe not really sexually, but you think they look good, right? Like, I mean, I would think they would look good to you if it's love at first sight, right? I mean, but then again, it's not always about looks either. I mean, I would say it depends on what that person is doing as well. Like, let's say you see them and they're at the gym and they're working out and it's like, oh, that looks great, like they're working out. Or, it could be a gesture of kindness, right? Like, let's say the person is being a hero or something like that, right? Let's say some lady's cat is stuck in a tree and you see this person goes to help the lady because her cat, is in the tree, and they go help them, and you're just like, oh my God, that's such a nice thing to do. And it's like, before you even really see them, you're like attracted to what they just did. You know what I mean? Or like I said, how in my Disney movie head, I would think that the love of my life I would see at a supermarket, and I would need to reach something like on a top shelf that I can't get, and this kind person just goes over and hands it to me, and then the second that I look at them, I'm just like, oh my God, that's my person. Like, that's, or like in the laundromat, and I don't know, and I'm folding up clothes and I forgot a sock in the washing machine, and like the person gives me the sock, and I'm just like, oh my god, thank you so much. You know what I mean? Like, those are the crazy Disney princess. Love the earrings, by the way. Thank you. These are my Tany Talks earrings. I wore them a couple Tany Talks ago. I don't wear them as often because they're like kind of really big, but they say at Tany Talks under them. They were really cool. By the way, I got these on Amazon. I meant to tell y'all, I got these on Amazon, so you can find them. They weren't even expensive. I think they were like $30 or something on Amazon. So get you a pair. You know what I'm saying? But I was the first one to put the Instagram on the earrings, so don't steal my. I mean, y'all can steal it. Just make sure you shout me out, okay? It's like I got it from Tany Talks. That's it. So if you guys have any comments or questions or anything about Love at First Sight, you guys should get on here. Let me see if I could. If they want to get on. Hi, thanks for joining. Today on Tany Talks, we are talking about Love at First Sight. Every week I post a poll, and in the poll I put topics that you guys like give as suggestions, and someone gave a suggestion for Love at First Sight, and I posted it up against what was the other topic? Vacations. And vacations actually lost to Love at First Sight. So you know, we're talking about Love at First Sight because this is what you guys want to talk about. So I need to know, like, do you guys believe at Love at First Sight, or do you think that, you know, Love at First Sight is some sort of myth? Like, you know, because you don't really know. You don't really know. But I would say it's worth dibbling dabbling, and I feel like it's definitely worth giving it a good old shot, you know. Um, Shout out from Florida. Hi, Lou.Hernandez.100 is here from Florida. So shout out to Florida State. We love Florida here in New York. You know, we are like cousins. You know, everybody from New York and Florida, we go up and down all the time. So thank you for joining Tany Talks today. Have you ever experienced love at first sight? Lou.Hernandez.100. I would need to know. Have you ever looked at someone and just like felt like you just fell in love like instantly with that person, just looking at them? Um, I would say you probably would need them to say something too, right? Like, could you just love them with no words? Like, you know what I mean? Or I think it's like almost borderline stalking in a way too, where it's like if you do fall in love with somebody from like afar, and it's yo, have you ever seen that show You? You know, when he you know, the guy be looking at people and he just being so in love with them and he be stalking them and stuff like that. Like, I mean, it's kind of, you know, love is a dangerous thing. You know what I mean? So don't be you vibes out here with the love at first sight and you're gonna be mine and you're gonna hunt them down. Like that's kind of that's taking it a little too far. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when I say the love at first sight thing, hopefully you guys have eye contact and it becomes a mutual thing. Like, and you know, loving someone who doesn't love you back hurts. You know what I'm saying? So you could have a love at first sight with someone, right? And then you go up to them and realize that they don't like you either, or they don't feel like the same way. So what do you do in that case, right? Or I feel like maybe when we were younger, we all kind of have like love at first sight because we're young and giddy, and then we realize that that person doesn't like us, and then it changes like our aspect on love at first sight, like where we get older and then we suddenly don't believe in it anymore, kind of like Santa Claus, where, you know, when we were younger, we believe like because we're so young and naive that you just see that person and you just start liking them like a lot, you know. But does it become almost non-existent as you get older, love at first sight, where you know, you just start to get older and you realize it's a myth. This is not a thing. It's like the Easter bunny, you know, it doesn't exist, you know. I would tell you guys not to kill that part of yourselves, you know. I mean, I'm pretty older and I still kind of believe at first sight, love at first sight. I feel like, you know, we know like Santa Claus isn't really real, but like I still kind of believe in it. I still fake believe in the Easter Bunny. All these things that kind of seem super like romanticize or fantasies. I'm saying it doesn't hurt to kind of still believe it. I mean, don't be so naive and don't get taken advantage of about it. But I still feel like a piece of us, even as adults, we still should be hopeful about those kind of fantasies and things like that, where if you haven't found love yet, and as you get older you get hurt, and you start to not believe in things anymore, and after you might have thought you loved someone at first sight at first, and then like someone else said that they did think it was love at first sight, but then it wasn't. Keep believing in it, like keep believing in it, even though it sounds weird, and I know we hate rejection, and liking someone who doesn't like you back isn't the best thing either, but try it out. I feel like we shouldn't give up. I feel like the more of us that believes in love at first sight, the more it will actually happen. You know what I mean? Even though the movies are a liar. The Disney movies lied to us, and they made it seem like everything was a fairy tale, but it isn't. But I mean, it could be your version of a fairy tale, right? I mean, I don't think that I'm gonna run out of a palace and my slipper's gonna fall off and then the guy's gonna find me with the shoe kind of Disney movie. But you never know. I say try it out. Still believe in it. It's a very cute and good feeling, to experience love. And we all want love. We all want to be loved, and whether you see the person at first sight, whether you see the person multiple times, whether you're getting to know that person, I feel like embracing love is always good for everyone, and I hope and truly hope that everyone finds their love. Someone was on here earlier and they said that they're still with their first love, and that seems like a Disney movie in itself, right? Like still being with your first love, like that's a real thing, like making that first love happen. And I know some people who are still in relationships with the person that they first fell in love with, and God bless them. You know what I mean? And I wish you know they probably experienced love at first sight when they saw them and they just knew, like, and I think this is one of the greatest loves of all, when you just kind of know. But I feel like it takes a lot more than just looking at them and loving them. You have to keep loving them, for the love to last. I don't think all love at first sight situations last. As I mentioned, someone considered me a love at first sight, and it didn't last. You know what I mean? Maybe they weren't the love at my first sight. You know what I'm saying? But I do hope that one day it happens to me. I would love that. Totally would love that. I think that'd be great. So love is love, and I hope you guys all experience a beautiful love, and you guys go find it if you haven't found it just yet. Don't give up, because you can find love at first sight even when you're older, right? You never know. You ever hear about the stories, maybe like love at first sight at like the nursing homes? That'd kind of be sucky, but hey. And you can love constantly. Like you can have a first love, a next love, a last love, and all those loves are different dynamics. Not all of those would be love at first sight, but some of them could be. And just because even if you had love at first sight and it didn't work out, it was still love. It was still a vibe. It was still something that I feel like everyone should experience. So I want to thank you guys so much for getting on Tany Talks this Sunday. I am gonna post a poll. So you guys could tell me which topic for the next 10 talks you want to talk about. So bye. Thank you guys for joining.